What is up, my cutouts? Cardboard Ninja here, coming at you with Dev Vlog Part 2. Dev Vlog Part 2! More Syndicate crap. First things up, legendary crossbow, the Fukibari. There's actually video of this thing firing online. Fires 3 bolts. They all try and land on the same spot, which is, how you do. Basically, it's similar to the toadfish, which fires 2. They leave parts that stick in you as per standard, which is very similar to actually the Phoenix of all things. So this operates closer to the Phoenix than it does the toadfish because it's actually like a cross between, because these do massive part damage to a singular part, I believe. And that's it. So for those of us who are wondering, well, what good is this gun? This is going to end up replacing the toadfish for Leviathan Clan Wars. Everybody who has a Leviathan, typically is running 2 to 3 toadfish right now, used for whatever they can get. Most likely reload speed, projectile velocity, and almost all of them will be impulse. Even though impulse isn't necessary, that's usually just diffusion. So this threatens to replace that more or less outright. Even though you can shoot the spikes off of this gun as you can shoot the spikes off of the Phoenix, it's usually not done. Like, having an ally help you, even if you're the Leviathan, is very unlikely. And seeing as the majority of people are running Devourers right now, they're not even able. they're just not, and that's everywhere. It's not just Levy CW, it's CW as well. It's because of how cheap they made the Devourer to craft at one point in the game. And so everybody's got them, and unfortunately they're non-responsive weapons. You got to charge it up to fire, then you got to waste a whole burst trying to aim at a tiny projectile. You're not going to do it. You're simply not going to do it. So this is going to see most likely the Toadfish die in Levy CW. And this is coming next Battle Pass. Hooray! Moving right along. It's just very interesting. It's very interesting that they're doing that. But as for standard play, I mean, it's a crossbow. It's a crossbow. You're gonna be firing crossbows downrange, just like the toadfish, just like the spike before it. And if you land, you do a lot of damage and heat apart. All right. Might be the return of heat weapons. Who knows? The Uwabaka. Yeah, it's mispronounced. Uwabaki. Epic light wheels. So these look like cambers to me, and they have the stink of cambers all over them. Because they look like cambers. They're basically cambers. They don't do much, honestly, unless there's a dramatic increase to the power of your vehicle. I don't see these things doing that much, which is their perk, by the way. So, much to the similarity of the Howl and the Echo, and I think there's one more cabin out there that does this. I forget what it is, my apologies. But basically, proximity to your opponents. Oh, I remember now. It's the that cabin that just came. Anyway, it doesn't really matter. Long story short, charges when you're near your opponents. What does it do? It increases the power of your armored car. Oh, one note. Unlike every other perk that charges based on proximity to your enemy, this one shuts off immediately if you get touched by an enemy. So you can't touch your opponents. You can't crash into them. They can't crash into you. This is more of an extension of the never play gameplay that I have bitched about before, that I'm not going to go too far into this video. But the idea that you can be near your opponent without touching your opponent, the idea that you're going to hover around in this magical game space using tempura and tachi to slice them up. Oh, it's going to be amazing. It's going to be like San Francisco Drift. Or Tokyo Drift. The idea being that you're going to be right next to your opponent, but you're landing shots directly into them. Oh, it's going to be amazing, like battleships or something. That is not what's going to happen. It's going to be a fuck show. You're going to drive near them. Someone's going to be cloaked. You're not going to know they're cloaked. You're going to bump into each other. Your bonus is going to disappear immediately. And if you're dumb enough to try and use the tachi, those aren't going to work. It's going to fall apart immediately. And the wheels are here to support that gameplay. But I've been burying the lead. New relic. So if you guys have been playing the Devourer, you know that you have it only because of the fact that it was cheap to make. Well, congratulations. You wasted all that uranium. You wasted all those points, because there's a new relic, baby. It's here. It's even better. It's the same as all the other plasma emitters, but this one does more damage and costs even more money. So, according to this, the weapon requires charging to fire, and yeah. But if you wait a bit, the Nemesis perk will cancel out the drawback while you're not firing. So don't shoot this gun. The weapon accumulates charges up to a certain limit. One such charge significantly speeds up the charging time of a volley. Use the mechanic correctly and do not try to jump into the fight in the front line. Then a little later, you'll have a great chance to enter the battle on your own terms and leave melted wrecks and enemies in your path. So here's the thing: this could be good, or it could be dog shit. So that's the problem. So why could this be good? Well, it depends on the damage bonus. Obviously, it's saying that the number of shots. We're just going to assume 3. I know that we shouldn't assume 3, but every other plasma emitter fires 3. So let's assume 3. Could be wrong. But let's assume 3. Because it's still calling out a volley, even though it says it requires charging to fire. Even though it's saying that, I'm pretty sure it doesn't say that's not a volley, and in fact, it even says speeds up the charging of the volley. So current plasma emitters, you charge it up by holding down the left mouse button, it reaches full charge, and it goes whoop whoop whoop, fires 3. According to this, it's going to make that burst like 3 shots immediately. So basically, it's going to be a fire rate increase plasma gun, and then that fire rate increase drops over time as you fire it. Or it only lasts for a certain period of time, like either the Punisher after you reach full stacks, or other weapons of that nature, where it's only going to do it for a limited time. That's what it looks like. But yeah, so it just depends on how long you have to not fire this gun. So remember, every match starts with you on the opposite side of a map from your opponent. So if it charges fast enough, odds are good that your first volley in a match is going to be fully charged, and you're going to have access to it. But depends on the cooldown, because I don't know if you'll ever get it again. It is a relic, so relics can be hit or miss, but who knows? I, for one, can't wait to see what this is going to do to the market. Oh, Lord. By the way, pro tip, this is obvious. If you're one of those whales and you want to just make more money, shit one of these day one, because you have the money. Go ahead and get the parts, throw it together, sell it immediately. Yeah, don't worry. The price of relics only goes down after creation. Remember that. Devour came out and it was worth like 66K. Remember that? And now it's worth like, 33 or something. And new structural parts being added to the game. Looks like a fun little bumper and some cool ass fenders. Now, all of the other Syndicate bumpers in the game, or fenders in the game, are actually pretty good. They're very good stat-wise. Hopefully this follows suit, because anything that allows you to mount over things or around things is typically good. And you will usually unlock a very unique way to defend guns, or basically build around your own wheels or around your own frame and things like that. So fingers crossed. And as a minor note, Syndicate parts are not weak. Syndicate parts are actually middle high dura. They're actually really good on your build. So always good to see more Syndicate crap popping on, popping off as you do. New relic replacement to the Toadfish incoming. What do you guys think? Comments below. Let me know. Devblog Part 2 out.